Looks that girl. Hey y'all. Look how cute I look when I focus on my angles. Like, I need to get me some kind of stand right there. What you think? That'd be perfect. Then you could see the computer too. And yeah. Yeah. I hope everybody is doing. I'm in better spirits, probably because I've been eating, sleeping, and drinking water. That seems to help. I am going gray. You see all my gray hair? That's why it looks blonde, because it's gray. I'm not mad about it. I used to pay for this color gray. I used to pay hundreds of dollars. So now I get it for free. For free. My favorite. Y'all, there has been so much going on, and I'm kind of upset because I feel like I'm behind because we haven't talked about anything in the past couple of days. But so much has happened. I'm waiting on my computer to activate. I have most of my tabs up. If this is not going to come up. First of all, there we go. Let me drink something. Hey, y'all. I'm glad you're back, Laura. Hey, Aubrey. Thank you. I use that Milk concealer as foundation. I actually do like it. I've had that for probably a year and a half, 2 years. I think makeup expires. It has the date on it. We were talking about that before, but listen, if it got mold growing in it and it still works, I'm gonna use it because I'm just cheap and I haven't bought any new makeup in like a long time. But yeah. Hey, Virgo. Hello, Dodge. That Chinese food made me feel better too. That was the first time I ate today. I just been busy. I wanted to know more. So I want to start with this Kristen Lobato. It's Lobato. I'm wondering if this is the same woman. Yes. So Kristen, I'm looking for the case. Let me look up the case because I want to tell y'all exactly what happened. She was just released from jail. She was arrested for murder. The cops alleged that she had murdered a homeless man, and in the process of murdering him, that she had defiled his body by removing his genitalia. She was incarcerated, charged with this poor guy's murder, and she sat in prison for 2 decades, close to 2 decades. She was just freed this past week, so she's going to go home for the first time in almost 20 years and be able to spend loved ones. Now, this happened in Nevada, Las Vegas. Let me see. And the Innocence Project actually got Kristen freed this past week. I'm sorry. She's been free for about like 18 months. She was freed year before last, if I'm trying to get it up. Y'all know I ain't got good memory. She won a $34 million lawsuit this past week, a federal lawsuit against the state of Nevada for her wrongful conviction. So not going to be able to spend Christmas again this year home with her family, but she'll have a lot to buy awesome Christmas gifts. So this is Kristen. She was just 18 years old when she was charged with her in 2001. So she's been in prison since 2001, knowing that she was innocent, swearing up and down she was innocent. There's nothing to do with this homeless man's murder. I'm trying to find his name. So I'm completely wrong. On December 29th of 2017, a motion by the Clark County District Attorney's Office and the Honorable Chief Judge Elizabeth dismissed all charges against Kristen and ordered her to be released from prison. So she's been out since 2017. So after a 5-day hearing in October of 2017, the court had found that Kristen's defense lawyers violated constitutional rights to effective legal representation by failing to call pathology and ematology expert entomology. What is that? Entomology? Lord. So whatever that job is, that person is supposed to be able to determine time of death in a deceased person. It looks like regarding the victim's time of death would have supported her alibi. So it looks like they determined the wrong time of death, or they had the time of death. Y'all, listen. All I know is they had the time of death wrong, and because of that, Kristen couldn't have been where the homeless man was. She would have been over an hour or a few hours away. And because of this, her lawyers did not point this out. This was a clear alibi. She was somewhere else at the time of his murder. And because of a wrong timeline when it came to when he died, that's how Kristen was incarcerated. But it looks like, let me just read this. Kristen was just 8 years old when she was charged with the brutal 2001 murder of Duran Bailey, a homeless man in Las Vegas. Kristen was tried twice for the crime, but has always maintained her innocence. I'm whistling when I talk. Could you hear it? So, the homeless man Bailey, his body had been found at around 10 p.m. on July 8th of 2001 next to a dumpster in the parking lot of a building. He had been brutalized. His eyes were swollen shut. His skull was fractured. Several of his teeth had been knocked out of his mouth. His carotid artery was cut, and his penis had been removed. First of all, I don't know if there was any weapons or anything, but it would take a lot of strength to do most of this. Knocking out the teeth, blunt force trauma, head, swollen eyes shut. They said his eyes were completely swollen shut. This is a violent crime. Also, his carotid, how do you say carotid, y'all? Carotid artery was cut, and then his genitalia was removed. I mean, that is violence. I don't see a woman doing that, but, as an investigator, that would have been my first thought. This was definitely a male, but what do I know? Kristen grew up in Nevada in a small town 3 hours north of Las Vegas. In May of 2001, 2 months before Bailey was killed, Kristen was visiting friends in Las Vegas when she was attacked in a motel parking lot by a man who attempted to R-word her. He was carrying a small knife. She was carrying a small knife given to her by her father for her own protection. Kristen slashed at the man's groin area and escaped his grasp. I remember during the court thing that I was watching, it talked about this. One of the pieces of evidence, Laura, that they had was that there was this prior incident. There was a prior incident where somebody was attempting to assault her sexually, and she sliced at this person's groins. So that was one piece of circumstantial evidence that they had. And this was months later. When she drove off, she saw the man on the ground, mobile and apparently crying. In the coming days and weeks, Kristen described this attack to numerous people, making it clear that it had occurred before July of 2001, and stated that she believed she may have cut the man in the groin area before running off safely. On July 20th of 2001, nearly 2 weeks after Miss' murder, Las Vegas Metro Police Department detectives received a phone call from a resident in Nevada who had heard from another Nevada resident that Kristen had told her that she had cut off a man's penis in Vegas. Think about this game of telephone, okay? Who needs friends who needs enemies when you got friends like this? So based on that, on that story alone, detectives immediately drove 3 hours from Panica to Las Vegas. Upon arriving at Kristen's family home, the detective Kristen that they knew she had recently been attacked. The police recorded a statement in which Kristen described the attempted R word in late May, stating that it had happened at least a month ago, clearly describing a motel parking lot as the location and not a dumpster. And describing a man who was mobile and alive when she left, not beaten to death as Bailey was, under the mistaken belief that police were informing her that the man who tried to R-word her had died. She expressed remorse and made other comments that the detectives took as a confession for Bailey's murder. So this is 2 separate incidents, 2 separate times, a month apart. Some friend calls the police and says, yeah, my friend said that somebody tried to attack a month ago and she cut his penis off. First of all, that is not what she said. She's stabbed at his groin. This is why I stay away from people. Plain and simple. Because of lies like this. Armed only with this statement, the detective arrested Kristen for Bailey's murder. The police did not investigate clear alternative perpetrators with the motive and means to so violently kill Bailey. July 1st of 2001, 1 week before he was found dead, Bailey R-worded a woman who lived in an apartment building next to the bank where his body would be found. He was a perpetrator. What are the odds? What is the odds? It's a small world after all. Bailey threatened to kill the woman if she told anyone, but she eventually reported the attack to the police on July of 2001, just 3 days before Bailey was killed. So the homeless was out here assaulting women and attacking them sexually. He did this to one woman. She made a report. So the cops know at this point that man is a R-wordist. And then Kristen was attacked by a different man who tried to R-word her, and she slashed at his groin, and somehow they connected these 2 separate cases together. This is crazy. That is it's just ironic. So this girl who was attacked by the homeless guy, Bailey, she also told a number of her male neighbors who had an ongoing dispute with Bailey about the attack. Despite the woman's prior contact with the victim, as well as male friends' motive to retaliate against Bailey, the police prematurely dismissed these potential suspects. So there was people in the neighborhood where this homeless man, Bailey, was staying next to a dumpster. And in that neighborhood where he attacked this woman, he had enemies now because this woman had told her neighbors what this homeless guy had done to her. But instead of looking to these other alternate suspects, could be suspects, the cops just honed in on Kristen and said that this woman, who was literally skinny as hell, she was tiny, y'all, that she bashed this homeless man's head in and then cut his penis off. It's just crazy. Instead, the police solely focused on Kristen, a teenager with no connection to Bailey and no motive to harm him. At trial, the prosecution relied primarily on Kristen's her statements to investigators when she expressed remorse, but once again, it's 2 separate men. Kristen is thinking it's the guy that attacked her, and it's not. Bailey never attacked her. It was a different guy. So the cops, she did slash at a person's groin. It was not Bailey, and the cops take that as she's talking about Bailey. So the defense presented numerous family members and neighbors who testified that Kristen was actually in Pianca on July 8th of 2001. So she was not even in the area of Las Vegas where Bailey would be killed and beaten savagely. And I'm not saying that city right. Panaca. So Kristen had an alibi, but it was overlooked completely. The prosecution even conceded in summation that Kristen was in Pianca as of 30 on July 8th. However, the prosecution relied heavily on their medical examiner's time of death estimation to undermine Kristen's by defense. The medical examiner, 4 hours before he was pronounced dead at 3:50 a.m. on July 9th, meaning at approximately 4 a.m. on July 8th. Hold on. Y'all, I'm not good with numbers and days. I get all confused. The state argued that put Bailey's death at a time when Kristen was not accounted for by her alibi witnesses, and the jury convicted her. Not doctors being wrong, not medical examiners being wrong. It happens all the time. It's very common, actually. Very, very. You know, it sucks that these people are supposed to be specialists, you know, they're experts, and they make a mistake that sends an innocent girl to prison for almost 20 years. And she was a baby. She was 18. That could have been me, you know? It almost was. I wish I knew how to say that word. Etymologist. I can't say it. So they had an entomologist come in, or insect scientist, all of whom concluded that based on the weather conditions in Las Vegas on the 8th of 2001, based on the outdoor location where Bailey's body was found, one would expect to see his body teeming with blowfly eggs within a short period of time after his death. Blowflies arrive very, very shortly after death and lay hundreds of easily observable eggs in a freshly dead body's orifices and wounds. Given that Bailey's body had no fly eggs on it, each of the forensic entomologists, I think I'm getting better though, independently concluded that he had to have died close in time to when his body was discovered around 10 p.m. on July 8th. During which time, as conceded even by the prosecution, Kristen was 3 hours away with her family. A forensic pathologist also independently concluded that based on the recorded rigor mortis changes in Bailey's body between the time when his body was discovered and when autopsy was conducted, he likely died during the early evening hours of July 8th. Based on this compelling scientific evidence, which could have been presented at Kristen's first trial, and which would have likely changed the jury's outcome, Judge Miley granted Kristen's habeas corpus petition and vacated her convictions. She had a solid alibi. And no motive. No motive. So we have cops who got tunnel vision, started focusing on her. We got a pathologist, or I don't know who does the time of death, medical professional expert, medical doctor who got time of death wrong. We got a friend who called the cops, making up lies, playing a game of telephone. And those three circumstantial things got her convicted of a crime that she did not do at 18 years old. And they made her out to look crazy because, once again, this man was beaten savagely. His genitals were cut off. So now everybody thinks she's some kind of weird, sick freak out here mutilating homeless men. Oh, but, you know, the kicker was this homeless man was actually a known R-wordist. He had actually SA'd women before, and one 3 days prior. And, you know, it's just wild. It's a crazy case. It gets better, though. So this past week, like I said, a federal jury in Nevada has awarded her $34 million. Kristen was wrongfully convicted twice and served nearly 16 years in a Nevada state prison for a 2001 killing that she did not commit. And let me just tell you, those 16 years felt like double that time, because time goes by so slowly in there. I'm just saying she spent like 30 years in prison, psychologically speaking. I hope, you know, she was going down a rough path, and I hope that she takes this money and use it wisely. I hope that she doesn't take this money and get in any trouble. Kristen, who is now 41 and uses the name Blaze, cried and hugged her attorneys after a judge read that verdict on Thursday. She says it's been an uphill battle with many, many obstacles, and I'm happy that it's finally finished. Seems very close with the lawyers at the Innocence Project. I watched tons of videos, and they were all arm in arm. I'm so glad that these people were able to help get her freed, because, you know, she was going to spend the rest of her life in there. If it was not for the Innocence Project and the Lord's work that they are out here doing right now, she would have died in there. And everything's been taken from her. She went in as an 18-year-old child. You know, she's never been able to get married. She's never been able to have children. She's never been able to have a career. She lost the better part of her youth. You can't even put a price on that. You can't turn back the hands of time. She lost, you know, a huge chunk, 16 years. That's too much. Way too much. Like, she didn't do anything. So her attorney says that she doesn't think that, you know, becoming a millionaire will make up for the years in prison. And Kristen says she has no idea what the rest of her life is going to look like. This is the most messed up part. At the civil trial, the jury found that Las Vegas police and 2 detectives, now retired, fabricated evidence during their investigation and intentionally inflicted emotional distress upon Kristen. The panel determined that Lobato should receive $34 million in compensation damages from the department and $10,000 in punitive damages from each former detective. The detectives, Thomas Towson and James La Rochelle, Lord have mercy, declined to comment. And I'm not trying to read a book by its cover or judge a book by its cover, but they look like the kind of douches that would do some stuff like this. I'm just saying they don't look like happy people. I'm glad that Kristen's out. It's heartbreaking to think what, you know, everything that she's lost. She'll never be able to have children. Maybe she can settle down and, you know, but here's the thing about having that kind of sum of money. That adds a whole nother layer of problems to your life. You've got people coming after you wanting money. You got families wanting money. That's why we see a lot of the people that win lottery go underground and they don't tell anybody that they won, because it causes a whole lot of problems. There was a homeless man years ago. While I'm thinking about it, let's talk about that. There was a homeless man years ago. I got so many other stories, but while this came, his name was Abraham Shakespeare. Shakespeare had a hard life. He had a hard life, and he was homeless, and I can't remember if it was drugs or alcohol or just being homeless. It doesn't matter. He had a hard life, and he won the lottery. Millions of dollars trying to get it up. And Abraham was a very kind man. It's crazy, but some of the most broken, damaged people are some of the most kindest people at the same time. They'll give you the shirt off their back, and Abraham like that. He was kind to all of his friends, and after he won the lottery, all of his friends that were not there for him when he was homeless, all of a sudden wanted Abraham to be there for them. So Abraham was, and he loaned out thousands, if not millions of dollars. He gave away. Come on, man, story up. I can't remember where this was, but it's such a heartbreaking story that I can remember most of it. Essentially what happened, he had a woman come out of nowhere, and she said that she was an entrepreneur or something. I don't know what. But somehow she bamboozled her way into Abraham's life. And she somehow got Abraham to sign over all of his assets, and she killed him. And, you know, the crazy thing is, he was such a giving man, he didn't even tell nobody no. If she would have just asked, he would have gave her. And there was no reason to kill him. I still think about this man all the time, y'all. It's so sad. Hold on. I'm not going to cry. I know I'm like PMSing right now, but we're not going to cry. He won $30 million in 2006. At that time, he was living with his mother, and he was a truck driver. So things were looking up. You know, they'd been bad, and then things were on the up and up. And then he wins this huge $30 million. That's like crazy money. Don't cry, I know, right? My makeup looks good, I'll ruin it. So a Florida man hit the jackpot after winning millions on a lottery ticket, but he had his luck run out when he mysteriously disappeared. Abraham Spears, a rags to riches story, begins in his hometown of Plant City, a rural community known for its vast strawberry fields and groves. I love Florida. He didn't have much growing up in the hard scrabble town and worked in the fields to support his family. Quote, I think he wished and hoped and prayed that he would win the lottery someday, but Abraham wasn't a real fortunate person. He left school to go to work to see what he could do about helping his family. Sorry, So it looks like back in 2006, Abraham and his friend Michael decided to stop at a gas station. They bought some lottery tickets, and Abraham handed a few dollars to his friend and asked him to buy 2 lottery tickets. That night, he won $31 million to pay out $16.9 million and shared his generosity by purchasing homes for his cousin. And it wasn't just that, man. Everybody was coming to him with their hand out, and he would just give and give and give. I mean, obviously, if he dropped out of school to go work in the damn strawberry fields to help take care of his family, that tells you right there I don't even know, like, what type of man this man was like. He also helped his friend Greg, a local barber, pay for a business loan worth $87,000. Greg agreed to pay Abraham in installments to pay off his debts. He bought a home in North Lakeland, which was a home he dreamed of. It was a small mansion. But Abraham, an uneducated man who struggled to just read and write, seemed to be in over his head. Quote, it was scary because he didn't know how to manage his money. He had this entourage around him, but half of those people he didn't even know. They knew he couldn't read, they knew he couldn't write, and they knew he couldn't sign nothing but his name. He was their cash cow, and they milked him daily. Less than 2 years after striking it rich, Abraham was down to his last $2 million. But late luck entered his life when a mutual friend introduced him to Dorice Dee Moore. Wasn't Dee Dee Moore Gypsy Rose's mother's name as what it was? Dee Dee Moore was her name. I swear the caffeine makes me be able to read better. So anyways, so this woman, Lady Luck, was introduced to him by a mutual friend. This was a complete setup, in my opinion. That was no friend. She offered to write a book and tell Abraham's story, but as the pair fleshed out the details, she realized that he was quickly falling into financial ruin. Abraham allowed Dee Dee to step in and fill in the role as his financial advisor. She suggested that he not leave the house to avoid those wanting a piece of his wealth. He isolated himself in his large home. When loved ones couldn't get in touch with him, after a few weeks, Dee Dee Moore, the only person in close contact with him at this time, assured them that Abraham just needed to get away. She also maintained that Abraham was sending her text messages, insisting he was fine. Abraham's family really didn't think that it was entirely implausible for him to kind of just go miss for a little while. But after 7 months of no contact, one of his family members reported him missing. Abraham's mother told authorities she had received text messages from her son, which rang particular to her as he could not, he could not read or write. So how is he texting his mother when he can't read or write? So it looks like the Clarks County Sheriff said that this was more than, they knew immediately that this was more than a missing persons case, but he had won $30 million in the lottery. Investigators looked at the long list of people who owed him money, and there were plenty of suspects. But there was no evidence and no leads for authorities to determine foul play in Abraham's disappearance. They looked at Dee Moore, the last person that Abraham was in touch with. Moore readily shared texts from Abraham indicating that he left of his own volition. Look at this evil heifer. He welcomes you into his life, into his circle. He trusts you with his books, and you play him. Evil. Evil. Oh, and did I mention she's going to kill him? So, investigators thought that they had hit pay dirt when they discovered Michael, who was a friend, the friend that was with him when they bought the lottery tickets. The man who took Abraham's money as the lottery tickets sued Abraham. That is crazy. People are evil. Michael asserted that the winnings belonged to him and that Abraham stole them from him. A judge ruled that Abraham was the rightful owner of the tickets. So the cops are wondering if this man Michael was responsible for kidnapping and killing or doing something to Abraham, because they had a civil dispute in court. At Christmas time in 2009, Abraham's mother received a phone call from a private number. On the line was a man claiming to be Abraham, but mother's intuition told her that the caller was not her son. She reported it to detectives who traced the call. The call came from Greg Smith, the barber who accepted the $87,000 loan from Abraham. And remember, Greg said he was going to pay that back in installments. Investigators tracked the phone to a busy shopping mall parking lot. While waiting to find Greg. They're looking for him. They're waiting to find Greg. Jesus, Brooke. So it looks like while waiting to find Greg amidst hundreds of cars, they were surprised to see another familiar face pull into the parking lot. Dee Moore. They followed Moore as she pulled her alongside Greg's car. Moore got into Greg's car and handed him a wad of cash. Wow, these dirty heathens. Your best friend gives you almost $100,000 to open up a barber shop, start a career, get your foot in the door, and you're planning to kill him. I mean, it's just sickening. It makes me sick, and this is why I have friends. Shit like this. So the cops get in behind Greg. They pull him over. Greg cooperates, claiming that Dee make a phone call to Abraham's mother. How sick. Dee paid Greg $5,000 to call Abraham's mom and pretend like he was Abraham. How screwed up. So this caught the investigators' eyes. The red flags went up, and then they start looking into Dee. It looks like they dug into her background. Dee's history contained accusations of fraud, theft, and arson. Go figure. She was also arrested for insurance fraud after lying about a couple of men who allegedly attempted to R-word her and car. So authorities decide to bring Greg back, the one that got the loan, and they're going to wire him up and him back to talk to Dee. And Greg didn't want to do this. He's like, serious, man, I ain't trying to chase that woman. But when authorities told him that Abraham was missing and that they feared that he was actually dead, he did it. Greg fired an empty drink can and drove to the gas station to meet with Dee. Dee told Greg that she was being blamed for Abraham's disappearance, but would pay for someone to take the rap for it. What in the hell is going on? What a dumbass. She is evil. This statement alone was enough for investigators to obtain a subpoena for her phone records. Upon examination, that Abraham they found after Abraham disappeared, the only calls or texts from Abraham's phone were made to Dee Dee's phone, compared with Abraham's phone record. Dee Dee's cell phone pinged from the same cellular towers as Abraham, so they're in the same location, essentially. So, under the guidance of detectives, Greg called Dee Dee and said that he had a solution to her problem. Greg brought, and he claimed was his cousin, to another meeting with Dee Dee. The cousin, however, was an undercover cop. In that conversation, she finally admits that she believes Abraham is dead and that somebody shot him. The undercover cop said that he'd go to prison for Abraham's disappearance if Moore paid him $50,000 and provided the location of his body, claiming that he needed his story to sound credible to detectives. Dee Dee claimed that Abraham was shot and that she knew where he was. 50 grand for a murder? That won't, honey, by the time you get out in 20 years, that 50 grand will be 50,000 pennies. It's inflation, you know, things just get more and more expensive. So later that evening, Dee Dee requested to meet with Greg alone at a gas station. From there, she drove Greg from Lakeland to Plant City, where she'd purchased a house. She led him to a large cement slab in her backyard and said, "Tell your boy to dig 6 feet down and you'll find Abraham's body." She also handed Greg the murder weapon, maintaining she had got the gun from an unknown person. She got the gun from the unknown person shot and killed Abraham. So she's not claiming she did it. She just knows that it happened and has the weapon and the location of Abraham's body. On January 25th of 2010, authorities found the remains of Abraham Shakespeare exactly where Dee Dee said they were. When we found out Abraham was buried under a slab in the backyard, it's just devastating. I couldn't take it, said Tammy Edom, which is, I think, Abraham's mother. Authorities found Dee Dee Moore at Abraham's Lakeland mansion, which she claimed she had purchased from him, and brought her in for questioning. In a videotaped interrogation, Moore, Dee Dee declined, or she denied killing Abraham, and stated that drug dealers killed him. Unless she confessed, detectives had no proof she was the trigger. Looking further into her history, investigators visited her ex-husband. He said that on the night of Abraham's murder, Dee Dee had him use a machine to dig a hole in her backyard and fill it in after sundown. The ex-husband claimed he had no idea that there was a body at the bottom. What do you think she was doing? You think she laying new pipes? You know, these type of people, are they really that dumb? Like, or are you just, what did you think she was going to put in a hole? Lord have mercy. Authorities determined the man, who had never met Abraham before, was not involved in his murder. So Dee Dee said that she was hanging out with Abraham at the house, and two guys in the house. I got makeup in my eye. It's my makeup rag. Said that they stormed the house and killed Abraham. I got him in and shot him, took everything we had in the safe for cash and left with it. Put a gun in my mouth. I peed my pants. I was scared. Cry River. So she provided a name to detectives, but that turned out to be a dead end. As her story started to unravel, prosecutors charged her with murder. At trial, it was revealed that Dee Dee spent Abraham's money on lavish gifts, including a $70,000 Corvette for her boyfriend, a $30,000 truck for herself, Rolex watches, diamond rings. By the time Abraham's body was, he only had $10,000 left to his name. He won $31 million. He received, what, like 16 and a half out of that. And everybody just used him up till it killed him, till they a man that quit high school so that he could go to work to support his family, and not his kids, not a wife, his mama and grandma, and you know, when he won this money, he bought his cousins all homes. In 2012, a judge, Dee Dee Moore, guilty of first-degree murder. A judge sentenced her to life in prison without the possibility of parole. And his mother said, for her to kill him, it was just like, why? Why? He would have brought you he would have given you what you wanted. To me, this was completely senseless. Dee Dee Moore still remains incarcerated at the Low Correctional Facility in Ocala, Florida. And there's actually a show on Oxnard, Buried in the Backyard, on this. I don't even know how we got to this, but y'all, it reminds me of like The Given Tree. Ever seen that book? God, every time I read that book, I cry. It's about a tree that gives a man everything that he has. When the boy is in high school, the tree produces apples, so the boy eats the apples, and then the boy likes college days, and he'll bring his girlfriend to the tree and carve their name on the tree, like the lovers, the young lovers. Then there comes a time where, I don't know, I can't remember it all. He needs wood, so the tree gives him wood, and then the boy wants to build a boat at some point, so the tree lets him cut him down essentially completely, leaving nothing but a stump. And then at the end of the book, the boy hasn't been back to visit the tree in a long time, and the tree says, I have nothing left to give you, because he's done give everything was to the boy throughout the boy growing up. And y'all, it makes me, oh my God, it's so sad. But it's like, it's good sad. But at the end, the tree says, I have nothing left to give you but a seat, because it's just a stump. So the old man is old, and the old man takes a seat on the stump. If you've never read that book, oh my God, such a good book. It's my favorite, like, childhood, called The Giving Tree. And the person that wrote that book actually has a ton of wonderful books that are, I mean, it's almost poetic. It's poetic, and there's so many different layers. There's like these morals, and not really morals, but there's these kindness. It's a kindness story that has multiple layers. Great book. I am PMSing bad. I'm crying over The Given Tree. Great book. Who was it? Sylvester? I can't remember the name. Anyways, so I want to talk about this school shooter out of Madison, Wisconsin. For those that don't know, I'm from a Madison, and when I heard that this shooting happened in Madison, I'm sick, y'all. I'm so sorry. When I heard this shooting happen in Madison, I thought that it was my Madison. Regardless, it's horrific. This is a teenage girl who was 15 years old. She went to school, and I was wrong in my initial report. Yes, there was multiple casualties. There was a teacher, also another student, but there was additional victims as well. It looks to be 4 other people that was actually shot during this shooting. This was a private Christian school, which makes it even more shocking. This was a K through 12 school. And then I find out that a second grader, you heard me, a second grader, what are they, 8, 9? A second grader called police to notify them that there was an active shooter in the building. That's how the cops found out, was from a second grader. 911. First of all, I didn't even know second graders had cell phones. God, I'm so naive. Yeah, a child called, terrified, saying there's an active shooter. So, oh wow, it looks like one Anderson has died. When was this updated? So this was just updated about 2 hours ago. It looks like one of those people that went to the hospital actually died. So it looks like 3 people are after a shooting at Abundant Life Christian School, a Madison, Wisconsin campus for K through 12. A teacher and a teenage student were killed. Oh, she killed herself, Brooke. God, I'm so stupid, y'all. Lord have mercy, help me. I had an itch. So she turned the gun on herself after she shot 6 people. I'm sorry. Oh. They haven't released her name. They have released pictures and videos of her home. They lived in a kind of like her and her parents lived in like almost like a mobile home It's almost looks like a dod, but it was a single family home. Nothing lavish. They looked middle class to possibly lower income. It looks like it wasn't the fanciest house. It was kind of middle to lower income. 6 other people were injured and 2 students were in critical condition, and a teacher and 3 other students had non-life threatening injuries. Okay, well that's good. My vape died. A resident of the same neighborhood as the teenager. Hold on, I don't want to read statements from them. I don't need all of that. I'm wondering how she got this gun. She had to have gotten it from a parent, a relative. 15-year-old girls are not out here buying guns in the streets from gang members. They're just not. So clearly she had access to a firearm. And if history has a way of repeating itself, the parent will then likely be charged as they should be. Because once again, as a firearm owner, it is your legal responsibility to keep that under lock and key at all times. There should never be a millisecond where a child has access to a firearm. In recent years, we've seen to set a higher standard because these shootings, I was wrong. I said earlier that there had been 40 shootings in the past 52 weeks, and then I read in a different article that it was 80. '83 school shootings this year in the United States this far this year as of December 16th. So I'm not trying to scare y'all. I'm just being realistic. That is one in some, that's almost 2 school shootings a week. These things are horrible. This just horrible. So it looks like the cops have searched the home. Residents reported that they heard flashbangs in the neighborhood. Oh, and then they took the door off the hinges. So it looks like when the cops to execute a search warrant, neighbors heard flashbangs, which is like it's a device that cops use. They throw it into a house, scare, and they can make big old booms and stuff. But don't they also smoke, or is that a different thing? I don't know. And then I did see that they had removed the front door from the house, like I said. So maybe the police weren't compliant. Maybe they had to break into the house. I don't know. So it looks like the shooting occurred in a classroom during a study hall. The study hall has students mixed in grades, and the 15-year-old student opened fire. Whoa. So the Madison chief of police was asked about comments that were circulating online suggesting that the shooter may have been transgender. He says, "I don't know whether Natalie was transgender or not." And he also stated that he did not think that whatever happened to them had anything to do with how or she or he or they wanted to identify. And I wish people would kind of leave their own personal biases at this. They still don't know the motive. The shooter, who is dead of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound, identified as Barnes. She's been identified as Natalie Rupnow, Rupnow. So whether or not she was or not transgender is something that may come out later, but for what we're doing right now today, literally 8 hours after a mass shooting in a school in Madison, it is of no consequence at this time, and I would encourage people to be responsible with your social media. He's saying that apparently they've already had problems with, internet idiots. Here it is. A second grader called 911 at 10:57 a.m. to report the shooting. Let that soak in for a minute. A second grade student called 911 to report a shooting. A teacher and a teenage student were killed, and the shooter, who was 15 years old, died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. 6 other students and a teacher were also injured. 2 injured students remain in critical condition tonight. God, please let those children live. Please let those children live, God. Please bless those children. Cover them in your blood, Jesus. There's nothing else. We don't know anything else. That's it. Hold on. NPR has an update that was 3 hours ago, which was sooner than the last one. Oh my God, I'm sorry, y'all. Lord have mercy. There we go. I blocked him. Hey, Lexi. CC. How you doing, CC? Yeah, 15. Leroy, that is crazy. 15 years old. No place is safe. You're right. So sad. I feel bad for the parents that lost their kids. You pay, Christian school, these private schools are not cheap. I don't know what tuition is, but I'm willing to bet it's over 10 grand a year, right? And you pay for a private school to send your kid to get educated, and they never come home. I mean, it's one of the most terrifying things. And then to find out we've had 83 of these shootings this year. And this is, once again, an American thing. So this is a mental health, parenting, broken down system. There's so many layers to why this is happening, but mental health, the way people are being raised, the broken system and the education system, bullying, all of these things contribute to these things without a doubt. And these poor children, this girl went out in a blaze of glory. I mean, about the fact that a 15-year-old had enough guts to do what she done to herself. That is pretty fucking hardcore. Pretty hardcore. God rest her soul. I mean, listen, I know she was a shooter, but clearly she was a struggling teenager. So let's see here. Let's see if they got anything new in here. So it looks like, as 3 hours ago, 2 students are still in critical care with life-threatening injuries, while 3 other students and a teacher sustained that's her. 2 students have been released. So there was 6 shot. 2 of the students lived, and they've been released. So thank God for that. This stuff has to stop. We can't keep losing children like this. And our educators. I do know that the cops got that call at 10:57 and they were there at 11:06, I do believe, 11:05. It didn't take long, in less than 10 minutes. Good for them. Good for them. Yeah, 10:57 a.m. is when they got a call from the freaking baby, the second grader. So it said that this girl, Natalie, who was 15, who was the shooter, who ended up taking her own life, it said that she liked to go by the name Samantha. That's interesting to me, because if you shorten that, you can go by Sam, which is a boy's name and a girl's name. But it's interesting because Samantha was not even in her biological name at all, but she preferred to go by Samantha. They don't know anything else. They don't know anything else. She's never been in trouble with the law. They've never even spoken to her. They've spoken to family. Female suspects are rare in school shootings. Since the 1989 killings at Columbine High School in Colorado, only 8 other shooting suspects, or 4%, were female. And I read somewhere else that there was only 2 of them, 2 girls that had done this. So I don't know how much that 4% makes, but anyways. So the Madison community was in mourning on Monday night. One mother, Meryl Jean Charles, has 3 sons who attend the Abundant Life, a 9th grader and a set of twins in 6th grade. Charles told Wisconsin Public Radio that she was relieved that her children were safe, but she expects them to have emotional trauma for a long time. This is not okay. If your kids are at school, they are not okay. If they are at church, they are not okay. If they are outside elsewhere, they are not okay. Where are they going to be safe? Girl, I know. It looks like they held a vigil for the people that had passed away, that had been shot. Doesn't look like we know anything shooter. Now this might end up being like a damn what was it? Crooks. This might be like Crooks, and we never find out anything. If this kid was in fact transgender and mad that she was going to a Christian school, we'll never. Yeah. We'll never know. I mean, regardless, she had no right, and it's very for me that she went out in a blaze of glory like that. It tells me that the kid had guts, you know what I mean? Like, that's not good, but... So I ran across the article. Apparently Disney, who, in my opinion, listen, y'all, I grew up with Disney. I love Disney. Old school Disney. But in recent years, as we all know, Disney went off the rails. Disney is not the classic Disney that we grew up with. Disney is geared towards the LGBTQ plus now. I don't really agree with that, which is why I don't like Disney anymore. Their movies are nothing like they used to be. Their new movies are trash in comparison to the stuff that I grew up with, like Fantasia and Lady and the Tramp and the original Peter Pan and All Dogs Go to Heaven. I think they did that. But, Disney is completely different now. Disney is a billion-dollar company, and I had heard something about 2 years ago about Disney employees becoming homeless and because of COVID, and Disney kind of shit on them, okay? So imagine my surprise when I find this article talking about Disney has been stealing money from their employees for time. They actually, it's called theft of wages, and they were ordered to pay $233 million back to their employees. Dirty heathens. And, I don't like Disney now, but I don't want to support their lunacy. I'm not going to support normalizing little boys in dresses and little girls believing that they're little boys, because that's what he supports. For those that don't know, yes, Disney pushes for transgenderism. He pushes for non-binary. Disney firmly supports the LGBTQ plus, and it's no coincidence that Disney has went downhill since the start of supporting the LGBTQ plus, because in my opinion, that's led them to where they are currently, and they suck. This is a billion-dollar company that stole from their employees, and they're going to have to pay back pay. Walt Disney has agreed, Walt Disney Company, sorry, Walt's dead, Brooke, has agreed to settle wage theft, a lawsuit for $233 million, ending a 5-year dispute over pay for tens of thousands of employees worked in their theme park. This was a class action lawsuit. This was the largest lawsuit of its kind in California history. Disney confirmed it approved the preliminary settlement on Friday. According to a December 6th court filing, $179 million would go to plaintiffs in terms of back pay and retirement contributions. Another $17 million in penalties will be paid to the California Labor and Workforce Development Agency, and $35 million will go towards attorney fees. $35 million on attorney's fees? I didn't even know. That's crazy. God, somebody paid. The lawsuit arose after Disney claimed that it was exempt from Measure L, a 2018 voter-approved living wage initiative. The ordinance required any businesses in the city's resort district that received city tax subsidies to pay workers at least $15 an hour starting January 1st. Now, this was in 2009, with hourly wages rising $1 annually through 2022. Employees backed by several Disney-based unions filed suit in 2019. A judge in 2021 agreed with Disney, a decision the unions appealed. In July of 2023, a judge panel for California's 4th Appellate District disagreed with the interpretation. Sorry. I need a drop, y'all. My throat hurts so bad. I'm getting sick. The same judge, Orange County Superior Court Judge William D. Claster, will render a decision I'm sorry, on the wage theft settlement in February. So this is still ongoing. Even though Disney's going to have to pay out $233 million, they might be ordered to pay more for wage theft. This little voice of mine, it's gonna be just fine. Sorry. I'm a dork all the time. The same judge, Orange County. Oh, I just read that. Plaintiffs could expect payments in July of 2025. So if you've ever worked for Disney, you're entitled to some money now, because they were stealing wages. They weren't paying people what they legally were obligated to. And, you know, something that's bothered me is the fact that, you know, I don't care for Disney. But what is fair is what is fair. And when these people are working, they deserve to be able to take care of themselves. A livable wage of some sort. This got to be hectic. Imagine working with children running all over the place and people drunk at Epcot, and I'm sure Disney too. You know, just imagine, you know, there's been fist fights there. We've seen whole families get into fights at Disney. I'm sure it's not an easy job, is what I'm saying. Yeah, it can be, certain things are low skilled, but I never understood why there was homeless people working at Disney, not being able to pay rent. Now I know why. During 2020, there was a whole lot of employees that were homeless, and I remember watching a special on it. Under the terms of the settlement, the wage floor for Disney workers will rise to at least $20.50 hourly beginning in January. See, that's better. Do y'all know how much Disney tickets are? It's not, honey. Listen, I heard some father say he paid over $800 for, was it a family of 4 or 5? I don't know. They can range from $200 to $600. A one-day ticket is almost $200. A multi-day ticket can be up to $600 and something dollars, like if you're going for the weekend. And an annual pass is almost $1,600. And you can't, I mean, this place is huge. It's a freaking theme park. Y'all can't pay your damn employees $20 an hour. So it looks like they're going to be, have to pay people. But also, anybody that was gypped out of making, you know, $15 an hour for however long, they'll be reimbursed money for the theft of wages. The lawsuit filed by several resort workers on behalf of 50,000 workers. So a few workers on behalf of 50,000 people sued Disney. I bet that hurts, don't it? $233 million, and you still have more money about to come out. You're about to lose more. So I did not know this. Let me find my statistics real quick, because I have an article, but I need my numbers to go with it. So there's been all of these home explosions going on recently. I didn't even know that this was possible. A lot of this year and last year was the deadliest year for home explosions. Just homes just combust and go up. It's usually gas leak, gas related. I'm trying to get this article up. While I'm waiting on that, let me get this one. So there was 2 people killed this past week and another one injured when the blast just, when these homes go up, you guys, I can find a video and show you too. When these homes go up, it looks like a mushroom cloud from the inside out. Most people that are in these homes, when they're exploding, they don't make it. So to hear somebody actually was just injured, 2 people died, but also 1 injured, is a miracle of God, because there was a house that went up in Bethel, a village around 2,600 people southeast of Cincinnati, and it sent debris flying across the neighborhood. The cause, they don't know yet. It's probably gas. Hold on one second. My computer's being stupid. I can't damn find it. Look at this. That's a home. Is it? What the hell is that? Is that a gazebo or something? I don't know what the hell that is. But look at this home. It's just gone. So for some reason, I don't know why. I mean, we can kind of think about it, but for some reason, this is becoming more common. My throat is hurting so bad. It won't stop itching. So 2023 was the deadliest year for catastrophic gas-related home building explosions in nearly 20 years. But we've already surpassed that this year in 2024. So these home explosions from gas leaks, gas-related incidents, they're becoming more and more. I can't help but think it's probably to do with people getting dumber and dumber. You know, like, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm being for real. Like, I was looking for the numbers. Just recently, 2 people were found dead in Maryland from a home explosion. 2 people in Ohio were killed in November from a home explosion. Another 2 people were killed in the beginning of November this year from a home explosion. These things are becoming, but I also saw a statistic. So hold on one second. I saw a number on a video. It said that, like, in 2022, we only had like 6 home explosions where the gas caused it to, like, blow. But this year, we've had like 26 just in 3 years, 4 years, something like that. Oh, let me see if I can find this. It's usually from gas leaks, but so here's part, and I guess they don't have up 2024 because we're not done. It says 2023 was the deadliest year for gas-related home explosions in nearly 20 years. The pipeline and hazardous Materials Safety Administration reports that 23 people died in gas-related home explosions in 23, which was more than 4 times the number of deaths in its previous year. We usually have, 4, 5, 6 homes that'll just... But in the past 2 years, we're having over 20 a year. There has to be a reason for that. Most of these homes are newly built homes too. They're not 10, 15 years old. They're, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. So, why that almost 4 times it said. So I don't know. Is it from cheaper materials? Is it from a lack of knowledge on how to actually run pipes, gas? I don't even know how they do that, but you know what I mean? Is it that things are not being inspected properly because they probably have to go through some kind of red tape and get inspection, I would assume. There has to be a reason that we went from 3 or 4 a year to 20 something a year, is all I'm saying. Is it that people are truly getting dumber? Is that, people not getting as educated as they're supposed to be working with gas? Just be careful when buying a new home. That's all I'm saying. Because for some reason, homes are just blowing up. And as I just read to you, there's several reports, news articles. More often than not, people are home when the home explodes. Scary in itself. I mean, horrifying. Now, oh, hold on. Here, government info. Let's see if they got a number on here. It's crazy. I was like, what? How is that even happening? Don't they have to have some kind of inspection after they run the gas lines and set everything up? I mean, there has to be a reason. Is it just sheer laziness and incompetence that is leading to these explosions? I don't know. I mean, and once they explode, we can't, there's nothing left. So it's not like a house fire when we can go and inspect where the fire started from. It's completely different. At that point, the whole house is in the whole neighborhood. I have no idea. But just be careful when buying a new home. If you're thinking about purchasing a new home, I would ask if it's gas. If you're going to have gas in the home, I would ask of questions. I would look into the ins and outs of the inspection process and the gas. Yeah, I would just be careful because this is becoming common. And I don't know why, but there's something there. For those numbers to go 4 times what they should be in a year, there's something going on. Definitely. I don't know if people aren't building houses or being lazy or what, but it makes no sense. So I told y'all last week there was a man, Michael Cohen, who was convicted of it was called Kids for Cash scam as a judge. There were 2 judges. There was Michael and there was another judge who, Mark and Michael were judges, and picking up innocent children as young as 8 years old. Victims of the former Pennsylvania judge convicted in the so-called Kids for Cash scandal are outraged by Joe Biden's decision to grant him clemency. Some of these children, who are now adults, coming forward, talking about the abuse and torture that they went through in the Department of Corrections when they were sentenced by these judges to these facilities. I heard one woman on the phone, y'all. It was heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. She's a 30-something-year-old woman, still almost unable to even talk about this these judges did to her. So these guys were supposed to spend almost 30 years in prison for making over $2 million through the Department of Corrections, locking up innocent children, 8-year-olds. There was 2,300 children, to be exact, over 2,300 children, some as young as 8. They were supposed to do 30 years in prison, both of them. Joe Biden granted them clemency. The public is outraged, just like I was last week. I guess everything I talk about comes full circle, doesn't it? People are pissed. They're absolutely pissed. In 2011, Michael was sentenced to more than 17 years in prison, and Mark was convicted to 28 years. Sorry. They were found guilty of accepting $2.8 million in illegal payments in exchange for sending more than 2,300 children, including some as young as 8 years old, to a private juvenile detention center. I want to be clear that juvenile detention centers operate exactly the same as adult detention centers. So jails, prison, these children went to jail. These children went to prison. I just want to be clear. Just because it's a juvenile detention center does not mean they operate any different. And matter of fact, sometimes these places can be worse due to the fact that these are children that correction officers are dealing with. So there's an imbalance of power there. And a lot of these correctional officers are meaner children than they would be adults. So Joe Biden let these guys out of jail, and the public caught wind of this, and they are absolutely outraged. And victims of Mark and Michael come forward and start telling their stories about what they went through. Most of these children that were sent to prison, they were not criminals. They were just children that were brought up in horrible circumstances. Their parents were, not there, maybe dealing with addiction. A lot of these children, just like when they were doing eugenics on young girls at Samarkand back in the 40s, it's the same situation. These children were just poor, defenseless, and sometimes without parents. And so they become victims of these two judges because these judges viewed them as disposable. So there was a mother of a boy sent to prison at 17, and he later died by suicide while he was in prison. This month forward, outrage that Joe Biden has granted these two judges clemency over this. She says that she's shocked and she's extremely hurt. She says, Michael and Mark's actions destroyed families and mine. My son's death is a traumatic reminder of the consequences of these judges' abuse of power. This pardon feels like an injustice for all of us who still suffer. Right now, I am processing and doing the best that I can to cope with the pain that this has brought me. There was a girl, Amanda Laura. That's crazy, but it's with an H. Who was incarcerated in prison at 14, was wrongfully incarcerated. It says wrongfully in prison. It's part of the scheme. So these were innocent children that these judges were locking up to get kickbacks. She says that this is a big slap in the face for us once again. We had time taken away from us. We wanted to talk to. And now we're talking about the President of the United States to do this. What about all of us? Josh Shapiro condemned Biden's decision, telling reporters that his fellow Democrat got it absolutely wrong. So a Democrat still thinks that this is wrong. Biden's actions Thursday marked the largest instance of presidential clemency carried out in a single day in history. It's crazy. So crazy. So when I saw that he had let them out, I was like, how? I'm glad that everybody else out here is mad about this too, because if anybody deserves to stay in prison, it's judges who took almost $3 million to lock children up who were innocent. These children were innocent. They weren't criminals. They weren't drug addicts. They weren't out here trying to kill people, and it's just heartbreaking. So this video I want to show you guys. Let me see if I can find my speaker. Oh, let's just cut the truck on. This is crazy. I told you guys about this yesterday, about the officer that was off duty that sucker punches a guy. Let me get this up. Let me cut the Bluetooth on. So first of all, to the best of my knowledge, he has been arrested, and I want to see if he has to if he's going to lose a job, because he should. I want you to pay attention to the fact that when he gets out of the car, he flashes his badge like he's somebody, like he's Billy Badass, just like he ain't supposed to. Oh, hold on one second. I thought it was connected. There we go. Why ain't it working? Damn it. No. No. God dang, man. Day. Is it going now? Oh my God. Brooke, just breathe. Just breathe. It says it's connected, but it's not. Forget. This is what I'm talking about. And I'll get a fucking YouTube violation for that. Like, Jesus Christ. Damn raggedy ass shit. Buy a new Chevy, they can. No, watch it not work. Sometimes it won't. I just done it. It's the computer. Something's wrong with the computer in here, y'all. Look, it won't even let me touch it. Something's wrong with this touching. There we go. Okay, I think I got it working. Hold on one second. Makes me so mad. It's been broke since I got it, but I didn't like mess with the radio when I first bought the truck. Let's see if we can hear it. What did I tell you? It didn't work. Jesus, now I done lost my thing. I'm gonna cry. Can you give me a minute, please, before I cry? Seriously, it just makes me so fucking frustrated to, like, pay for things and then them not fucking work. It's the truck. It's the truck. Forget. You heard it disconnect. Why wasn't it working? I don't know. It's the fucking truck. Half the time, I go to hook up my Bluetooth and it doesn't work. So then I have to disconnect. Then I have to freaking... Oh my God! Then I have to do it all the way over. Pair. Yes. Okay. It's not working. Well, I guess I can't show you because it's not working. Welcome to buying a vehicle. Like, where's the damn Bluetooth? And this thing is going to die soon because I don't have damn...
Power on.
Charger.
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
Damn Chevrolet ain't worth the shit. It's the truck. It's not the computer. I have the same thing happen with my cell phone. Something is wrong with the computer system in here. Sometimes I can't even hit, but, like, sometimes it won't even let me change my radio and stuff. It's so annoying to pay for shit and shit not work. Here, what's the problem? Oh, Jesus freaking Christ.
The Bluetooth device connected successfully.
Jesus. Thank you. 5 hours later. All right, y'all ready?
Fox 61 exclusive. Meredith officers charged with assault after a violent road rage incident caught on camera.
Fox 61, the only station to obtain both the citizen dash cam and police body cam video. Fox 61's Matt Caron went to the Meriden Police Department in search of answers. He joins us now live with what he discovered. Matt.
Well, despite this incident occurring back in December, it only came to light now thanks to a Freedom of Information Act request and a tip. Investigators say the video shows an off-duty Meriden police officer with more than 20 years of law enforcement experience reaching into a citizen's vehicle and punching him in the face.
He's not going to try to make this into some type of major thing.
December 8th, 2023, 37-year-old Thomas Brocuglio was driving his company vehicle, winch camera on, as he approached a red light at the intersection of France Street and Cromwell Ave in Rocky Hill.
What are we doing? What are you doing?
The truck he was honking at was being driven by 57-year-old off-duty Meriden Police Corporal Alan Ganter.
Wait all day.
Yep, on the phone. Look at his dog, trying to lick his middle finger.
That's when Ganter got out of his truck, flashed his badge, and approached Brocuglio.
Really? Where does it say that? It says stop here on red.
Corporal Ganter began taking pictures of Brocuglio's license plates. Brocuglio accused Ganter of being on his phone as the confrontation escalated.
I saw you looking around doing everything else. No, I was moving something in my bag.
Ganter then threatens to give Brocuglio a ticket and call his supervisor.
Sure, sounds good. Let me get your badge number. You want to get arrested? You're going to get arrested for assaulting a civilian.
Ganter drove away.
Hold on, I want to play it again.
Placed a call to Rocky Hill Police.
No, I was moving something in my bag.
Ganter then threatened to give Brocuglio a ticket and call his supervisor.
Sure, sounds good. Let me get your badge number.
How did that dog, you see the dog start barking? How did that dog know something was about to happen? Look, watch the dog. Smart animal.
You want to get arrested? You're going to get arrested for assaulting a civilian.
Ganter drove away as Brocuglio placed a call to Rocky Hill Police.
Rocky Hill 911, yeah, it's an emergency.
Yeah, I was just assaulted by a police who punched me in the face through my window.
Same,
Hill
Laura.
Police responded and generated this incident report, saying the punch left Brocuglio dazed and possibly concussed. Rocky Hill Police made contact with Ganter at his residence. The interaction...
Watch this. Listen to him.
Pressing charges against me, like for breach.
Yes,
Like to say you done this stuff for assault because you hit him. He's saying that I hit him. And he has video that you hit him.
Then Ganter asks officers if he can charge Brocuglio.
And there's nothing where I can press for breach of peace for him yelling at me, whatever.
Ultimately, Ganter, who is a school resource officer for the Thomas Edison Middle School, was
Scary.
charged with breach of peace and assault. I'm Matt Karen with Fox 61. Okay. We'd like to talk to somebody about Officer Alan Ganter punching a civilian in the face. We were told someone from Internal Affairs would speak to us, then told no one was available.
No one's available to come out.
Meriden Police sent Fox 61 a statement saying an Internal Affairs investigation determined Ganter did violate the Meriden Police Department's rules of conduct, and as a result was suspended for 5 days without pay and will be required to attend de-escalation training for 3 consecutive years. After issuing that statement, Meriden did also
So he gets to keep his job, essentially face no consequences, and continue to be the piece of shit that he is. Unbelievable. These people make me so, cops like that make me sick. And they walk around just doing stuff like that all day long, trust me. Me, hell I know. They don't care, they don't have conscience. Waiting on my computer to load. I'll be waiting till the cows come home. Wi-Fi never wants to work. It's always being a damn jerk. So I'm gonna drink my water while I wait. Might be waiting all damn day. Alright, where's the lid? Oh God, where'd I put the lid? How Trump's tariff taxes threat pushed Canada's Trudeau to the brink of resignation. Looks like Canada's Prime Minister faces fresh calls to resign after top minister steps down over possible tariff war. God, he's such a douche. What a douche canoosh. For weeks, Justin Trudeau has tried to reassure Canadians that his government has everything under control. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump's threat last month to slap 25% taxes on his country's northern neighbor has dominated the headlines, with Canadian business leaders and politicians hammering at the Prime Minister about how he plans to respond. This week, the simmering crisis took an unexpected and escalatory. It escalated. Escalatory? Did I do it? Escalatory turn when Canada's finance minister, Chrystia Freeland, announced that she was stepping down from her post because she said she and Trudeau were at odds about the best path forward. And it might be Chrystia. She says, before she wrote in her resignation letter that the incoming administration in the United States is pursuing a policy of aggressive economic nationalism, including a threat of a 25% tariffs. We need to take that threat extremely serious. That means keeping our fiasco powder dry today, so we have to have the reserves that we may need for coming tax war. Freeland's surprise resignation and the letter criticizing her longtime political ally have sent shockwaves across Canada. They have also sparked renewed calls for Trudeau, already weakened by months of internal divisions and plummeting public support, to step down as the leader of his Liberal Party in advance of elections next year. There's a Conservative Party leader, Pierre. Everything is spiraling out of control here in Canada. We cannot accept this kind of chaos, division, weakness while we're staring down the barrel of a 25% tariff tax by our biggest trading partner and closest ally. Pierre said that Trump is a man who can spot a weakness from a mile away. Yes, he is. Even before Freeland's shock announcement where she resigned, or Trump's tariff threat, Canada was at a fraught moment politically. The country has been gearing up for a federal election next year that is widely expected to end a decade of Trudeau-led Liberal Party governments and usher in Pierre, a hyper-partisan right-wing populist, as the next Canadian Prime Minister. It also is grappling with a housing crisis, rent cost, and increasingly devised political rhetoric. Liberals also lost the backing of the left-leaning New Democratic Party in September when the NDP leader Jamet Sai announced his party was withdrawing from a 2002 agreement to prop up Trudeau's minority government. While the NP has continued to vote alongside the Liberals so far, the government is more vulnerable if no confidence vote is triggered in the House of Commons. The result of that vote could force Trudeau to call an early election. They're fighting themselves instead of fighting for Canadians. For that reason, today, I'm calling on Trudeau to resign. He has to go. Any Canadians in here? Any Canadians that want to see Trudeau go? Tariffs. You know what I mean. You know what I meant. You knew what I meant. I've been calling them taxes because I couldn't say tariffs. It looks like they did a Legger survey from November found that 4% of Canadians said they plan to vote for the Conservative in the next election, compared to 26% who backed the Liberals and 15% who picked the NDP. Isn't it funny to see, like, everybody falling back on traditionalism, you know, coming back into their minds, coming back down to reality? It's crazy. I guess when everybody gets so poor, it gets to the point to where they have to evaluate, and they're like, oh, wait a second, maybe it wasn't a good idea to vote for Trudeau and to start with. That's what's led to these problems, you know. Nearly 7 in 10 Canadians who said that they were dissatisfied with Trudeau's government. So they're asking him to resign. Trudeau has served as prime minister since 2015. That election brought, it says, a centralist Liberal Party won the majority government. That election brought an end to a nearly decade of conservative rule under former Prime Minister Stephen Harper. With Trudeau's tenure now nearing the 10-year mark, Canadians have grown weary of his government, and like many electorates around the world, there's a number of incompetent fatigue. There is fatigue. Listen, y'all, I don't know why they do me like this. Trudeau has personally become a target of growing anger in recent years around key issues, from his government handling of the COVID pandemic to the cost of groceries and housing crisis. So it looks like Canadians favor Trump over Trudeau, which is crazy. I don't even know how that would be a question. They're two different countries, but it looks like that even Canadians are identifying with Trump's policies and what he stands for over their current idiot leader. I mean, he's an idiot. Oh, and a pedophile, you know. Yeah, that part. So it looks like there was a man in my area that kidnapped a woman and SA'd her. My computer, y'all. Why does it great 1 minute and then the next minute it doesn't? Yeah, no, that's how, no, Laura, that's how they do. They look out for their own. You know, the fact that he stepped out, that his, first of all, he was not even in a police car. He was in his personal vehicle. He steps out, he flashes his badge. That lets you know right there his mentality. This is a grown man acting like a child. He thinks that just by flashing his badge, that it's going to get the guy that honked at him to do whatever he wants. That tells you how mature that man is by the fact that he felt the need to pull out his badge and flash it. That shows that he is too irresponsible to be in possession of that badge. Whatever city that was, listen, y'all need to make sure that guy gets fired, and y'all need to look into all of his old cases, because anybody that's willing to act like that over somebody honking at them, I can assure you that they are manipulative and childish enough to frame people for crimes that they did not commit. Sickening. Eden man charged with kidnapping and statutory R-word in Rockingham counties. Now, this just happened, I do believe, yesterday. A Piedmont man is facing several charges after an investigation. This is through the Rockingham County Sheriff's Office. This is the same sheriff's office that arrested me for crimes that I did not commit. So I just needed to mention that. The Rockingham County Sheriff's Office, working with the Eden Police Department, announced the arrest of a 28-year-old Creshaw Brown. Officials said Brown was charged with felony kidnapping, 8 counts of statutory R-word of a child, less or equal to 15 years of age, and 2 counts of violating the sex offender registry. That's it? Yeah. Hold on. Creshaw Brown. Looks like this was a child, and I can't even find anything else. That's it. I'm so sick of the news. Somebody help me open up my own newspaper where we tell the news for real, for real. No other... It just says that he kidnapped a child, that's a child, and assaulted her at least 8 times, because he has a charge for 8 counts. So, I wonder. $28. Here we go. What a weirdo. God, it's just getting worse and worse, you know. And it will till Jesus comes back. Things will never go back to the way they were. Life will continue to get worse and worse when it comes to these types of incidents, because the world is going to get worse and worse. You think this is bad? Hold on to your britches. Wait till you're 80 years old, honey. Wait till you're 80 years old. Maybe I won't make it to 80. I don't want to live till 80. I want to live like maybe another 30 years and then Jesus come back. I want to make it to like 70. And then if Jesus comes back, it'll be perfect. You know, perfect timing, God. I'm waiting for this article to come. I get so aggravated. Onto the McDonald's Wi-Fi, my phone wouldn't work. I mean, if I had Starlink, I could take care of myself. I could afford to take care of myself if I had Starlink. It sucks. It really does, because this is not even coming up. You can buy the device used, but it would still be like $400. And then the initial service is like $300 to set it up. So it would still be like $700 to even get it. The service every month is less than $100, which would save me money, because I spend more money going to find Wi-Fi every day using gas in the car, you know. So it would pay for itself, because I wouldn't be spending money every day going to find Wi-Fi. Do you see what I'm saying? But I figured by now, after, you know, 13, 14 months of YouTube, that I'd be able to afford it. But unfortunately, YouTube doesn't pay. So I can't do anything about it, you know. I've worked my ass off and they fucked me over. Just like every other job out here nowadays, you know. These companies don't care about the little people. They care about themselves. They're a three-digit, multi-billion-dollar company. So, you know, they probably don't even know I exist. Nor do they care, even if they did. I'm about to just throw the computer. It looks like it might storm. If it's not going to work, I'm just going to move on, because it's not going to work. Well, some dude named Kristen Brown kidnapped a young girl and assaulted her viciously, and now he's in jail. Hold on one second. I got to look at this. Oh, how much money? For 15 months of work, 14 million views. I don't know, 4 to 15 hours of work a day, 7 days a week. I made $3,800. Yep. 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 Oh, I have no idea. I've never even looked into it. I mean, I looked into like buying one used from the pawn shop, but I don't know the numbers exactly. I don't know how much that stuff is. I could have swore, hold on one second and I'll tell you. I thought that I could be wrong.
Says she and her husband were in.
I thought that for a month it's like $120, and that's crazy. Price for, there we go. No, not for the home. Why would I want it for the home? It's $120 a month, and that says starting at. So that's how they get you. They'll be like, oh, it's only $120 a month. And then you get in there and they're like, oh, well, that's a $30 service fee. And then there's a fee for this. And then we got taxes. And before you know it, it's $157 a month. Hold on. I see a different price here too. This is service plan. Here, I'll show you. So what you have to do is you have to like Sorry, I didn't know what you meant. I'm slow. You have to order the device, then you have to order, so it looks like that's residential, Rome. So it would be a Roman package, $50 a month, unlimited $165. So $50 a month, but where's the, no. Oh, I don't even see the device. So it looks like it's anywhere from $50 to $165 a month, and I don't know if that 50 is right. I mean, I don't know about that. M-O-B-I, mobile device price. That's the expensive part, is the damn, oh, it looks like they've, oh yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, wait a second. That AI generated be lying like hell, $150 to $200. Oh, that's for the service. Okay. But the devices are 600, 600, 2400, 5000, 600. This is the problem. And 250, and I don't think that's mini, Starlink mini. I would have to look into that to see. Yeah, that's the problem. Because it's so, the initial setup is gonna cost you like, you know, $500-600. I don't know anybody that's got money to down spend on that right now. All right, let me rewind this back. Y'all remember the other, I was telling you that there is a problem with daycare workers who are dosing children with antihistamines and other medications over the counters. Yeah, I want y'all to watch some of this. Yeah, better than nothing for sure. Just can't do it.
Baby daycare centers are meant to offer busy parents peace of mind, a secure, safe place for their precious little ones. But what cameras captured inside this daycare, authorities say, is downright sinister. Watch closely. Why is this employee pouring pills into her hand? She grabs a gallon of milk to prep lunch and then does the unthinkable. According to police, she spikes each baby bottle with Benadryl, a sleep-inducing antihistamine. And cops say that wasn't the only time. A week later, she appears to do it again, slipping something inside another bottle before handing it to a baby in a bouncer. Despite the evidence, including photos of the partially dissolved Benadryl pills, police say they weren't able to charge her with a crime.
It made no sense at all because
It made no, hold on. Did you just hear what he said? It made no sense at all to charge her with a crime. Did you hear that?
it made no sense at all because, you know, as law enforcement, you know, you're thinking this is cut and dry child abuse. However, given somebody something that's over the counter, even being that they're an infant or a small child, doesn't fit the statutory requirements as a crime, unfortunately.
She was never charged, but we found daycare workers across the country who were accused of dosing kids with antihistamines and sleep aid supplements. Police say some daycare workers are slipping kids drugs to put them to sleep, but even seemingly harmless over-the-counter medication can be lethal for your little one. And as one Vermont mother knows all too well, it can end in unimaginable heartbreak.
She was literally born an angel.
Marissa Breyer says she and her husband were in baby bliss with their firstborn, Harper Rose.
No, Mama. I said, Mama.
But on her third day at this daycare in Rutland, Vermont, their world was shattered with a single text message.
Baby is sick, ambulance here, go to hospital. My heart sank.
She and her mother, Brenda, rushed to the emergency room where doctors performed CPR, but it was too late.
Marissa was just screaming. It was like the soul-wrenching scream. Those are the things that I see and think about almost every night when I close my eyes.
The doctors let Marissa and her husband hold their baby one last time.
That was like devastating. It still is. Was definitely like one of the hardest moments. Like when you don't even want to, walk away or say goodbye. But I had to be like,
we need to leave.
An autopsy revealed Harper Rose was given a lethal dose of an allergy medication never meant for babies.
This world is so cruel.
It is.
That's all I could think was like, how could somebody do that to someone else's baby? It's soul shattering.
Prosecutors charged the daycare owner, Stacy Valancourt, with manslaughter and child cruelty. But little baby Harper Rose isn't the only child that Valancourt is accused of drugging inside her now shuttered daycare behind me. Melanie McAtee says she trusted Valancourt to look after her 8-month-old son, Martin. But after hearing the terrible news about baby Harper, she had a certified lab test Martin's hair for the same drug. It came back positive for diphenhydramine, the active ingredient in Benadryl.
I was shocked. I felt like a failure of a mother.
Looking back, she says Martin was always exhausted after daycare, but thankfully never had a deadly reaction. Do you ever wonder what if?
Every single day of my life.
She sued Valancourt and the case has been settled. 4 years after Harper Rose's death, Valancourt is still awaiting trial. She has pled not guilty. Did you drug baby Harper Rose at your daycare? She was 6 months old. What do you have to say to her family?
It has been like reliving that day.
So then I see another report, and it said that these types of situation since 2020, it has increased 150%. I agree. Sorry. I agree, Laura. Yeah, that's what the sheriff said. He said that it was an unchargeable offense because the daycare worker had used an over-the-counter medication. First of all, that is child abuse. That's a misdemeanor child abuse charge right there. Second of all, there has to be something that he could have charged that worker with. But, you know, these incidents are becoming more common. So pay attention to you guys as children when they're leaving these types of facilities. If they're sleepy at night, if they're sleepy when you pick them up and then they don't want to sleep at night, that means that they've been sleeping at daycare all day long. I mean, it's absolutely infuriating to think that you send your child off to be watched while you're at work and trying to make a living for your family, and then your kid dies because this dumb daycare worker didn't want to do their damn job. And this is becoming more and more commonplace. In my opinion, the reason that we're seeing a spike in these types of cases is because of sheer laziness, incompetence, low education. People don't want to do their job. These workers are, you know, they make $10 an hour. That's what a daycare worker makes, $10 an hour. So, you know, let me just fact check that. But I knew a friend 20 years ago that worked at a daycare. 13. And I'm in North Carolina, so it would be $7 because their minimum wage is what they make in North Carolina. So $7 to $10. It's just crazy that they would result to drugging kids and potentially killing. You know, that one child, as you saw at the bottom of the bottle, there was literal pills in there. That is an infant. That's not a 13-year-old that can take Benadryl. You know, children are not supposed to take these medications till they're 12 years of age. You know, ibuprofen, Tylenol, stuff like that. It has a 12-year-old label on it. It says if you're giving it to somebody younger and it tells you a dosage, they don't do that for Benadryl, babe. You know, babies, infants that need to be carried, that can't walk, to give them Benadryl, just like, you know, little Harper died, it could kill an infant. And it's definitely not good for early childhood development for these kids to be drugged so that they'll sleep. It's just crazy. I have a feeling that we'll see a lot more of these cases in upcoming years because of the fact that it's been an increase in how often we're seeing this type of behavior out of daycare workers and educators. I've also seen teachers that have done this, dose the whole damn class when they go down for nap time. I do believe it was a kindergarten teacher that done it, but it might have been like Head Start or preschool. You know, it's no coincidence that society is falling apart and that, you know, educators, there's cracks in the seams and this behavior is front and center. It's just crazy. I mean, it's heartbreaking. And that one woman actually lost her daughter. So how evil do you have to be? And lazy. I mean, you got to be lazy. Why go into childcare if you're not going to care for children? You don't deserve that job. Hold on. Starlink to these. What do you mean? How do we go from Starlink to these? Yes, but it has a dosage amount on it, Victoria, is what I'm saying. Don't take everything literally. Most people knew what I meant. It has a dosage amount on it. It says children under 12 take this much. Children over 12 take this much. And children should not be taking antihistamines. They shouldn't. It's not necessary. And I'm willing to bet that it's not good for them internally either. I know what happens to me when I take Benadryl or even a Tylenol. It gives me heartburn. So, you know, my body having a reaction to the medication, I can only imagine, you know, what that could do for a child, especially when it comes to long-term use. That is abuse. You know, that is neglect. I don't know why this sheriff refused to charge this woman, but just know that if it was you or I, our face would have been strewn in the news. We would never have another career. We would have been labeled as a child abuser, and we would have went straight to jail and not collected our $200. You know what I mean? If it was us. Children don't need any medication. And they don't need half the shots that they give them either. Measles, mumps, and rubella, absolutely. But COVID vaccine, absolutely not. The less you can give children medication, the better off they're going to be in the long run. Yeah, the less medication, more healthier foods, meats. That's what they need. Milk. Lots of milk. Get them bones big and strong. There we go. Oh, hair. Ew. I wonder if that girl got out of jail, the one that was my cellmate. I wonder if she got out. I hope she did. I hope she did. I hope she did. Yeah, that's another thing. This woman was doing this and not even telling the parents, you know? Like, girl, what are you doing? I mean, I just feel like she should have been charged with some form of abuse, neglect, something. Here was another one that I saw. She was charged, though. Where'd it go? I've heard everything from Seroquel to melatonin to Benadryl. Oh, my freaking speaker died, y'all. That's what I was worried about. Yes, so this woman noticed that her kid...
Power on.
Oh, shit, it did work.
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair. The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
Shocking revelation. They discovered the daycare director, Tanya Voris, had been giving kids gummies to get them to sleep at nap time. Melatonin supplements mom never approved.
When I first found out, I was in shock. It was definitely frustrating, heart-shattering, honestly, that somebody that knew better would do that to my kids.
And not just her kids. Court documents allege Voris was giving gummies to 17 children daily without parental permission. Little ones, ages 1 to 4.
Some of these children did have, some side effects apparently from what happened. I mean, it alleges there were some changes in some of the behavior of some of the children. Some children complained of some headaches or some itching or some other things in a time period that was relevant to when these things were happening.
The daycare notified police and fired Voris right away. Court documents say she admitted to doling out the unauthorized doses in an interview with detectives. She pleaded not guilty in front of a judge. Now parents want her held accountable, mostly for violating their trust.
My 3-year-old and 1-year-old don't know any better. That's the frustrating part, and she knew better and continued to do it anyways.
Let's see if I can find it. Great question.
Unsafe playgrounds and dirty toys. There are all kinds of hidden hazards that can lurk at your child's daycare center. Tonight, Contact 13 Chief Investigator Dorice Spears takes us to
Hampton noticed something.
If you just simply go on YouTube and look up daycare workers drugging kids, there's like 15, 20 different reports. So this is a common thing. Some of them are older, going back 7, 11 years, and I can't help but notice how much worse it's getting. And also daycare workers being arrested for neglect, child abuse, hitting children. Recently, I've seen videos of mentally challenged people that had like workers that would come in home and help them. There was one girl that was caught on film getting beat by this worker. It's just, these cracks in society, these types of behaviors are getting worse because of how demented and stupid people are. I'm not trying to be mean. It's just a fact. And these things are going to get worse. It's really, I couldn't imagine having a kid nowadays. Yeah. It's going to continue to get worse. Hold on. It looks like I identified that girl. The shooter.
Police say it was a teenager who opened fire at a school in Madison, Wisconsin Monday morning, killing another teenage student and a teacher.
Goodbye, Salvador. Have a great day. Be safe out there.
The shooter or dead. The shooter has now been identified as 15-year-old Natalie Rupnow, who went by the name Samantha. She was a student at the school, and evidence suggests she died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
The city's police chief says it happened at the Abundant Life Christian School, a private institution for children in kindergarten through high school.
A second-grade student called 911 to report a shooting had occurred at school. Don't let that soak in for a minute. A second-grade student called 911 at 10:57 a.m. to report a shooting at school.
Police say 6 other students and a teacher were injured in the shooting, and 2 students are in critical condition. The school is a small community serving 200 families, according to its website. These parents tell CBS News how the incident has shaken their community.
It's a huge tragedy for our community. It could have been worse, and I'm very thankful that it wasn't. But
girl, 7 people died. What are you talking about?
Grieving tonight, and they're friends of ours, and we need to stick together.
Police say the suspect's parents are cooperating with their investigation. This is a developing story.
Well, we know that they wasn't initially because they had to damn take the door off the hinges and they were throwing damn flash grenades in the damn house. So they might be in compliance now, but there's no reason to set off flashbangs and take the door off the hinges if you're initially compliant. Kind of weird. That's it. That's literally all we know. And like I said, if they were transgender, we'll never know. Because just like the Thomas Crooks, who clearly, in my opinion, was involved in the LGBTQ+, they covered it up. They haven't told us anything about Crooks. Nothing. Thomas Matthew Crooks was the guy that shot at President Trump. Oh, he's got a wiki page now. His motive remains unknown. Bullshit. Bullshit. His motive didn't fit in, I guess, with your agenda or it would be too damaging to maybe certain communities to release that information, but you can assure they know why he tried to kill Trump. And it's crazy because all of the pictures with him with long hair where he looks feminine, they just disappeared. Yeah, there was pictures. When he shot at Trump, he had long blonde hair, honey. The picture that they show us is nothing what he looked like when he was firing at Trump. Nothing. So I just find it interesting that we still know nothing about him. Like I said, if she is part of the LGBTQ+, we'll never know. But I have a feeling, given the fact that all of these rumors are swirling online, that she was part of the LGBTQ+ and that she was transitioning, and then you throw in the fact that she's going to a Christian school, where clearly Christianity teaches that homosexuality, transgenderism, being part of the LGB, is a sin. So, if it's true, then that would be your motive. And Thomas Crooks was a very extremely confused boy. Clearly, he was registered as a Republican, but donating money to the Democratic Party. I don't know. Hold on one second. I was looking into Crooks to see if they had updated anything because it's been months. The gunman who carried out an attempted assassination on Donald Trump at a rally has been identified. 20-year-old of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, opened fire with a semi-automatic AR-15 rifle while the former president was speaking on the stage in the rural town of Butler on July 13th. Multiple shots were fired towards the stage, and Trump was quickly surrounded and rushed to safety by his Secret Service detail with blood streaming down his ear and cheek. There was also innocent bystanders that were shot and killed in this. Trump confirmed that one of the bullets had struck him in the right ear, blah, 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 blah. I want to know about Crooks. Crooks lived in Pittsburgh suburb of Bethel Park, located 35 miles. No, I don't care about that. All we know is he was bullied almost every day. He was an outcast. A lot of his classmates said they would have pegged him as a Republican. However, federal campaign finance reports showed that he had made a $15 contribution to a Democratic-aligned political action committee called Progressive Turnout Project on January 20th of 21. Crooks, who had bomb-making materials in the car he drove to the rally, acted alone. So he had bomb-making equipment too? I did not know that. So the father of Crooks said that he hadn't had any contact with his son in years. I haven't seen the kid since he was little. He never wanted to bother him, so we just don't see him. We know nothing. We know nothing about the guy, Thomas Crooks, that tried to kill President Trump. Nothing. And it's months later and we still don't know nothing. You want some Chinese? You sure? You can have a bite. You want spicy mustard on yours? Oh. I was 20 when I stopped working in daycare, unless shit has changed in 20. Yeah, it's gotten worse. It has changed, but it's gotten worse. You can't trust nobody no more. People are so morally bankrupt. It's not even funny. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Mm. I love vegetables, y'all. Carrot. Oh, slippery carrot. Tastes like soy. I don't know where this is, but Miramar, Florida. Miramar. So it looks like a police officer from there has been arrested on child SA charges. George Richardson faced charges of lewd and lascivious written communication and use of a child in a sexual act and harmful communication with a minor. He's 37 years of age, and one could assume that he was probably on Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, one of these platforms, meeting with children. He served in the department for 3 years and was taken into custody in West Park on Wednesday. Authorities said that Richardson has been relieved of his duties effective immediately. Usually they just put him on paid administrative leave. That's all you gonna tell me? I'm so sick of these short open up an actual newspaper, like a media company, because we wouldn't even print anything unless we had all the details. Plain and simple. And like, there's so much public information that they could have added in that. They could have told us his backstory. They could have told us places that he's worked. They could have told us all of that's public record. You can go to somebody's Facebook or Instagram and learn everything about him. I just don't understand why the point of even posting something when you don't tell us what happened. Yeah, he was charged, but why? Oh, it looks like the family of this child has a attorney. Alleged victim's attorney demands accountability after this officer was finally arrested for messing with children. A South Florida attorney is speaking out after investigators said his underage client was a target of this police officer who was arrested for SA charges. FaceTime. He was charged with enticing a teenager to perform a sex act on FaceTime back in November. He bonded out of jail yesterday, covered his face, and declined to speak to reporters. The child is under the age of 18. We have minors that are in high school, ages 14 to 20, that are aspiring to be police officers. And unfortunately, our client joined this program. So he met her through some kind of educational program. The lawyer said that the young girl, her dreams of becoming a police officer have been shattered. Listen, baby girl, you don't want to be working for the enemy. They disrespect women in police work just like the military. You know, I'm not saying all, but in my opinion, it's not really a place for a woman. You're going to deal with immature men sexually harassing you all the time, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you try to go get help for it, you'll get blacklisted and berated and treated like crap and potentially demoted for trying to get yourself help against sexual harassment in a police department. Wow. What a dang piece of crap, bruh. What a piece of crap. Oh, bye, Virgo. Oh, bedtime. Damn, it gets dark early, I guess, huh? Sweet dreams. I'll meet you there. Oh, no, you got to put your pajamas on. That's the first thing I do when I get in the house. I got to put comfortable clothes on. And then I can, like, be a couch potato or a bed potato. I do. I'm grateful to be me. Despite my, I was thinking about that today. I was like, if I could just pay my bills, I'd be the happiest person on earth, because I am happy being me, and I'm grateful to be alive, and I'm grateful for everything I've been through, because it's made me the person that I am today. Yes, I was thinking about that earlier. I was like, man, it's kind of a complete contradiction to be completely happy with you and content with yourself and be mentally and physically the best you've probably ever been, but at the same time, financially be the worst off that you've ever been at the same time, But I guess I could be broken on drugs. That would be even worse. So thank God for my sobriety, right? Oh my God, I cannot get this piece of chicken to act right. I gotta show y'all something. I don't know how to spell restaurant today. Look at this. I'm surprised I even went and got Chinese after watching this video. Sorry. I saw this morning. This is why I have trust issues.
You're watching Fox 4 News at 10.
I mean, I don't know what's wrong with them.
Tonight, one area restaurant's responding to video showing one of its workers with a questionable approach to food safety. The video shows an employee cutting up meat on the pavement right outside Triaki.
On the pavement.
I'm Kevin Barry. That restaurant
Look at that pavement.
23rd in Louisiana in Lawrence. Fox 4's Dave DeMarco is working for you tonight with why the restaurant says customers shouldn't be alarmed.
Inspectors with the Kansas Department of Agriculture made a special Sunday trip out here. They found no violations, but certainly had some advice for owners of the restaurants.
Greg and Jennifer Watkins were driving by Triaki Saturday when they noticed a peculiar sight right outside the back door of the Lawrence Chinese restaurant that's been in business for 20 years.
And my wife, she was like, what is he doing? And I looked, behind me, I'm like, he's chopping meat.
They started recording as he threw what it appeared to be chopped up pieces of meat from the drive-through pavement into a container.
Look at this.
It was gut-wrenching. I couldn't believe what I was witnessing. There was no cutting board or nothing to chop on. He was just cutting on concrete.
Social media users shared the video thousands of times and got the attention of the Kansas Department of Agriculture. The owner explained to inspectors the same thing he told us. Meat was raw pork, nothing they serve on the menu.
People now just worry about we serving the pork cut from the ground.
Lou also said the employee was breaking the meat up for personal use.
So then I go to the comments, and this guy said that this meat was being cut up for personal use for an employee. So then I go to the comments and I find out that this is a very common saying for, how can I say this? For some people, this is a very common saying at a lot of Chinese and Japanese restaurants to get around a violation and like an inspection or something. Like, this is a very common saying. It's for personal use. That changes things. the Department of Health and Human Services or whatever, whoever comes out and inspect, if they say that it's for personal use, then technically there's nothing to be done. First of all, I would never eat at that damn restaurant again. You can have the rest. It ain't much, Will, but you can have it. Maybe. Imagine cutting meat up on the ground like that. It's just crazy that he's doing that out there outside of a restaurant. Like, even if it was for personal use, why would you choose to do that there? It's not even logical. I'm gonna have to go. Oh, I'm gonna have to go soon, y'all. I guess everybody's getting ready for Christmas, right? Anybody traveling? Anybody got a long flight or a long car ride? Gross as hell, Rebecca. No, he didn't get arrested. I mean, honestly, I just feel like they should have shut that restaurant down over that. I'm a savage. That or a bottomless pit. Y'all, I'm out of baby wipes. I don't have not a Nair baby wipe. And I can't use these on my face because they have Lysol on them. I'm giving out pork chopped up on the street. I don't know where that comes from. I've kind of just always been this way. It could be like my astrological sign. I'm a fire sign, so that kind of is my personality, you know. Everybody deserves to feel confident, though, and I hope that anyone that doesn't finds their way there, because we all deserve to be happy in our skin and love ourselves, regardless of anything else, regardless of height, color, size, make, model. You know, I don't know what make and model of a car you are, but I'm like a 1967 Mustang Fastback. You know what I mean? You know what I was thinking today? If I was an animal, what animal would I be? Like, if you thought about yourself in animal form, what animal would you be? I feel like that I would be a half man, half horse. I'd be the, what is that called? A manatard? I'm joking. That's not even a real animal. If I was an animal, I'd probably be like a black crow. Yeah. I'd probably be a black crow if it was a real animal. But if it was like whatever animal you wanted to be, I'd be my astrological sign, which is the half man, half horse. What animal? Fire sign. Are you too? Yeah. Nice, sexy car. I know, right? Hamburgers, fish sticks. I'm a fire sign. When's your birthday, Rebecca? You December? What day in December, though? Half man, half horse. I don't know what that is. House cat. Come on, y'all. What animal would you be? I really want to know. Y'all got to tell me what animals you would be. Oh, it's a centaur. Centaur. The bottom half is a horse and the top half is a man. What animal would you be, Laura, if you were an animal? Like, not what you would want to be, but like what you envision your characteristics as a human being in an animal. I said a crow because I eat everything in sight, even raw meat. And I'm always on the go. Like, I'm just like a free spirit, kind of like a bird. And, you know, I feel like my inside is a little dark. Like, I feel like my favorite color is black. So I just felt like, I don't know. I kind of relate to a crow. They're kind of off to themselves in a sense. A sloth. Hold on. Yes, I'll definitely join you for Christmas. Maybe I can, like, make us some hot chocolate and stuff. I wish, like, for real, but, like, you know, I might do something for myself for Christmas so that I don't get down. I might get me one of those little special single hot chocolates from, like, Walmart or something. I think they're like 98 cents. I might, you know, start me a little fire. I can do a fire where I'm at, and it'll probably be cold so we can, you know, hang out. Chinese, you're welcome. Hold on, sloth. I'm a Sagittarius. Really, Jennifer? That makes sense. They say that they get, so I've heard that Sagittarians get along really well as friends, but we do not do well dating each other. We'll kill each other. That's what they say. I don't know if it's true. I've never tried it. Most of the guys that I meet are sloth-like, so they're definitely not fire signs. Happy birthday, Jennifer and Rebecca. Lions. I see that. You could be a lion. What did the lion need? A heart? In The Wizard of Oz, what did he need? A heart? The Tin Man needed... Shit. I forgot what they all needed. Anyways, I was trying to make it my sign as a boar. I think I'm a rat. I think my Chinese sign is a rat. Or you're talking about, like, your astrological. The Chinese one is a different one. You know, they got the one that we all know that's kind of... We need to get baby wipes. It's right here in the same parking lot. They got the Chinese one, too. I think I'm, like, the rat when it comes to my Chinese astrological. I like this. I like this. Somebody gave me this. It's, Revlon. It smells delicious. It smells like berries. Oh, it's because it is berries. I got Chinese in my teeth. Yes, I got Chinese all up in my teeth. Lion was courage. Thank you. I'm trying, Dario. Thank you. Yeah, I like it. I mean, I feel like it's made out of, like, cocoa butter or something. What's it got in it? I've been biting my lips so bad from stress. And then it doesn't help that I'm PMS and it always gets worse. It doesn't tell me. It just says balm. It's also got SPF in it. I like that it has a color to it, you know? Yeah, 87. 87, Jennifer. Happy birthday. What day is your birthday? And Rebecca, you never told me the day of your birthday. I feel like when you're born definitely dictates your personalities. Like, characteristics in your personality. I mean, there's no denying that I fit my damn horoscope to the T, honey. It is me all the way. There's not one thing that is even slightly wrong about my horoscope. It matches me all the way. Happy birthday to the December babies. No, I'm like the least popular because I run my mouth too much. Hey, Aubrey. James, November. Oh. See, I'm December 8th. This is Dollar Tree. It's just, I like the nude colors. I've had that for a while, though. I'm going to go to my storage tomorrow. I don't know if my phone will work, but I would like it to, so y'all could see what I'm going to get rid of. July. Happy late birthday. Libra. Okay. I've dated a Libra. Y'all are sweet, but y'all are grumpy, and y'all are so indecisive. Listen, y'all go to the store with a plan to buy Christmas gifts, but y'all just can't pull the trigger when it comes to damn checking out. I don't know what that is about Libra, and it might just be men, but y'all are indecisive a lot. It's hard for y'all to make decisions. Oh, okay. Laughing out loud. Yeah. See? Sagittarius. Happy birthday, Deborah. Scorpio. Otis. I dated a Scorpio like probably the only true love of my life was a Scorpio, and they can be good together. It just depends, I guess, on a person's characteristics. There's certain people that I shouldn't date, and I know that. Sagittarius, Aquarius. Are you Aquarius? When is that, Laura? When's your birthday? What day is that? I'm thinking of Capricorn. That's January. I don't know all of them. I just know mine, really, and then I know people that I've dated, of course. You know, because I seriously, I know it sounds crazy, and I know that the Bible strictly prohibits it, but sometimes I can't help it. That's something that I want to work on. You know, I used to be into the occult. I used to be a witch, and I've gotten out of the occult, and I'm saved. But there's no denying that those birthdays things be real, man. They be real. I'm telling you, I'll Google somebody. Like, if I start talking to somebody, I'll Google their horoscope, and it'll tell you what's going to go wrong if you pay attention. If you pay attention to that horoscope, it'll tell you all of the flaws in that person, and it matches 90% of the time to a T. This has just been my experience, you know. But also, I'm a good judge of character. I can read people, and I can read situations in advance. So I'm sure that helps when making these decisions. Taurus, y'all can be bullheaded, huh? I don't know much about Aquarius, or Capricorns and stuff. Leo, the it won't let me lock Subaru's hatchbacks. It's not the little ones, it's the damn hatchbacks that be damn hell on wheels, man. I'm very passionate, but I don't get to express it. You need to. Everybody deserves to express themselves, feel confident, feel happy. Might be music on. Hold on. Oh, look. That's cool. What year? I don't see a year. They got comics. How cool. Christmas stuff. Y'all want to look at the Christmas stuff since we're here? Oh, I want to make some cupcakes. That's what I'll do. I'll make us some cupcakes, and we'll get hot chocolate, and we'll put our elves' ears on, and we'll be happy little campers together on Christmas. Ooh, I bet those are good in chocolate. Hot chocolate. Hey. Bye. So cute. What did I come here for? Baby wipes. Oh, they got hot iron tools and stuff now. Kids are so innocent. Too cute.
Welcome to electronics.
Every time I see one, I think about my youngins. Every day. All right, baby wipes. No, I'm not by the ocean. I am in the mountains, essentially. I think I'm going to have to stay over here for a little while. They look like these. These are antibacterial. I can't use those on my face. They used to have them in the children's section, and I don't think they're going to carry them anymore. Where's the baby stuff? I'm looking for, like, the baby bottles. Y'all. First of all, they have so much new face stuff that I've noticed. These are good. Is this the Lift and Eye Cream? That stuff's good. Half of this stuff they got over here. Retinol, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Seriously, so much better than Sephora. Better prices, $1.25. I cannot talk enough, excuse me. I can't talk enough about how good that stuff is in comparison. Where the hell? There's the baby stuff. See, it says baby. There's some. Oh, nope. Not me stocking the shelves so people can see them. You know, I've wondered if this would stick to my window in the back so that I could have stuff, like I could set a drink back there and stuff, you know, like in the back where I sleep. I've wondered if these would stick to the window. I'm just too scared to spend the money to find out. These too, it would be perfect for storage. I'd have a pen back there. I could have stuff on the The window. Yes, I was. White witch, natural, tools. Look at all the men's stuff they have, you guys, for eye cream for men, retinol for men. Be careful with this if you get this. Like, it will burn your face off. I stopped messing with white magic 4.5 years ago. And then, like, for like a year or two, I was still messing with the occult cards, and I don't even know where they're at anymore. I got rid of one pack, and then I have another pack, but I think the last time that I messed with them was with you guys, and we, like, did a short reading or whatever. But I try not to mess with that stuff anymore because, I'm just trying to walk in the way of the world. They have my razors. I haven't been able to find these anywhere. I'm getting every pack they got on the shelf. It's 3 of them. Oh, I was thinking I could play with it, but it won't let me. Oh, those are actually cute in a weird, like, old lady way. Sometimes they have cute dishes. Oh, it lights up? How? Oh. Oh, that one don't light up. I guess they're all broke. Damn, if it ain't even working. There we go. I'm sure some kids would like that, Movie night with the... Now I can't get the damn thing to cut off. Oh my God, y'all. Why do I do this? Oh my God, I'm dropping the straw. Y'all. That's why it's dead. Because it won't cut back off after you get it on. Oops. Look at this. No, that's mine. Yeah. Look at this thin flashlight. You could put that in like a binder or something for a kid's school. Oh, look at that. It's a thin, tiny. It's actually cool. Be brave. Oh, they got Christmas marshmallows. I wish the bag was half the size. I'd get them. How are you doing today? Good. You ready for the holidays? Hey. Good. I bet y'all been busy, huh? Everybody gift wrapping and stuff.
Older than some 2 years old. Not yet. Almost. She's getting there.
Thank y'all. Y'all have a great one.
You're gonna have her talking.
Another little cute baby talking. She said, I had her talking. So cute, little braids. Every time I see those little the hair pretties from like the 80s, like they just like bend over bows. There's like plastic, and they come in different shapes and colors. I don't even know what they're called. I guess hair pretties. She had them all in her hair. It's so adorable. It reminds me of hair bows that I wore when I was her age. Mommy used to dress me up with bows in my hair, tease my bangs, put them little ruffle socks on me. Y'all know the little white ruffle socks from the 80s? You gotta fold them over and they got little ruffles, look like church socks. So cute. We went walking by that one little girl. She says, hey. Hey, girl, hey, how you doing? Bye. See you later. So cute. Little kids at the park be making me smile too. When I go to the park in Florida, you should see them. There's a school right next to the park, a little elementary school. And the teachers take the kids over to play in the park during the year and stuff, which I think is amazing. Like, imagine that as a child, being able to go to a beach park with a lake and kayak and hike and do all of these great things. Like, so cool. But every time I see them, they're waving. So cute. Oh, God. Look at how cute. So first of all, that little girl right there is trying to play with the other baby. That's the baby that said hey to me. And then the little girl with the bows in her hair. Look. Look, he's so cute. She said, come on, that is not your baby. So cute. Oh, God. Listen, children. So innocent. So innocent. So cute. What was I doing? What do I need to do? I need to throw away trash. Let's go to the gas station. So adorable. I hope my kids are going to have a great Christmas. I hope that they are looking forward to seeing Santa, and I know that they know who Jesus Christ is, so they know, you know, the true meaning of Christmas, and I'm grateful for that, because a lot of kids don't, and in my opinion, you know, it's imperative that children know the meaning of Christmas, you know. I feel like I saw a sign earlier today that was at this, like, building, they sell stuff, storage buildings, and it says, remember to keep Christ in your Christmas. It's like, yeah. So I bought every single razor they have because I've been needing these. These are the only razors that I use, and I do believe that they're not going to be making them like they used to. I mean, I ain't been able to find them anywhere. So, you know, baby wipes, nose, trash. Sorry. Trash. A white witch is, they don't do black magic. I cannot believe I just touched my toothbrush with that. A white witch is more of like a peaceful witch. They use more of the elements around them, wood, candles. They use a lot of non-harmful things. Like I knew a girl that worked in dark magic, and she sacrificed animals and stuff. So it just depends on your motives. It depends on your motives. So when I practiced magic, I did a lot of like simple spells dealing with you know, when you do white magic, there's an ethical limit, and there's like a line that you don't cross in the sand. And see, other witches that maybe don't run on ethics, they gear their spells towards more what they want rather than what they need, but also they cross that ethical line a lot. You know, like when I did magic, I did it for me. I never did anything to harm anyone else, but a lot of witches do, and they pray, you know, for things that, or they ask for things that are maybe unethical. I'm glad that I stepped away from that kind of behavior, because it's not natural, nor is it okay. Like, it's just not for me. I'm glad that I finally figured that out. I'm glad that I got out of the occult. One thing that is for sure is I would have never been able to follow God's word and hear God if I stayed wrapped up in that, because what you're doing, whether you're practicing white magic or dark magic, you're still reveling in Satan's work. So regardless if it's an ethical practice of magic or not, you're still that's Satan's work, you know. So yeah. Congrats, Rachel. You know, there's a lot of us. Kat Von D, she got saved and left the occult. There's a lot of us that, you know, and you know, it's what's crazy is a lot of us are the same age. Like, it usually happens when those motherly instincts kick in, we find God again. And I'm just glad that it happened, because I need to have God, you know. Let me throw this away, because this lady's looking for gas and I'm in her way. Yeah, I'm glad that I found my way back to God. I really am. Glad I found my way back to God. Oh, what was that? Alright, well, I guess we'll just run to the laundromat and do this laundry, because... Sorry. Girl, I can't see shit now that you're in my way. Oh. Or should I wait till tomorrow? What time is it? It's already 4:30. I'm just gonna wait till tomorrow, you guys. And I read in the Bible somewhere, something like it, that God strictly prohibits horoscopes. It might have been online that I read that, because I Googled it. But I feel like scripture popped up talking about, I feel like scripture popped up talking about having no other gods than him. And it said that the Bible strictly prohibits horoscope and the practice of tarot cards, Ouija boards, and stuff like that. So I guess to each their own. I ain't gonna lie, every time I come across that path and the card said, my horoscope said, you need to hold off on those decisions. And then the next day, I see that there was a huge accident on 40 where I would have been. Maybe not at the same time, but still, you know, it was crazy. I was like, whoa, I could have been wrapped up in that. I decided to stay instead of go. And then the following day, bad shit went down. I was like, oh, God. If that's not luck or God or the cards, I don't know what it is. And I have that happen all the time when I listen to those cards. But I don't even have them there in storage. I went by a person that sent me a package, and I received a card from the Netherlands. It was a postcard. I've had that for a few months, but I remembered it today. So thank you to whoever sent me that from the Netherlands. It was a beautiful, beautiful postcard. Y'all know my memory's bad, right? Like super bad. Super, super bad. Y'all know what I was thinking about? What happens if I get convicted of assault when I didn't assault anybody? What happens if I get put on probation? What are they going to do with me living out of my car? Are they going to say that I have to live in a house? I mean, legally by law, they can't tell me that I have to live in a house when I can't fucking afford rent. But you can best believe that the Department of Corrections, Probation, and Parole can do whatever they want. Yeah, it's unconstitutional to force me to rent a house when I cannot afford it just to be on probation. Do you get what I'm saying? You have to be in a house. You have to have a physical address to be on probation. So what if worst case scenario fucking happens? What am I going to do? I can't afford a house. I can't even think about something like that. That's out of my brain. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what that would mean, but I thought about that today. And I mean, that's the worst case scenario. I get convicted. What will happen is they'll put me on probation because that's not a prisonable offense. So anybody that's thinking that I might go to jail, I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. They'll put me on probation before they send my ass to prison, because ultimately what they want is money. And they can't get that out of me if I'm in jail. And I've been on probation, you know, throughout the years. It's been almost 10 years since I've been convicted of a crime, okay? And I'm calling that. So, anyways, back in the day when I was in my 20s, though, I was on probation. I haven't been on probation since 2018. So, oh my God. You gonna tear the engine out of that little piece of shit? I guess he was mad that somebody was turning and took forever. Anyways, what they do is they put you on probation to collect money because they want restitution. Activate my sentence and send me to prison because I don't have a home. Activate my sentence and send me to prison because I don't have a home. So stupid. The whole situation. I know one thing. I don't know how that works when it comes to assuming or alleging that somebody might be on drugs, but all I know is if my attorney looks like he did the last time I saw him, it's going to be another red flag. You know, we live in a world where people are suffering psychologically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and, you know, he wouldn't be the first attorney that's been busted on drugs, is all I'm saying, if he was. I just don't understand how you're an attorney and you spend 7-8 years in damn law school and you don't even have enough respect for yourself to pick out a suit that's not dirty. I'm telling y'all right now, he wore a dirty damn suit to court. You could see where the damn suit had been laying in a pile of dirty clothes. You know what I mean? It was wrinkled to hell and back. I ain't never seen an attorney with a suit like that. Not only was it wrinkled, I mean, it looked like he had spent the night at his girlfriend's house after a night out of drinking. He took the suit off, stuffed it between the bed and the wall, balled it up, stuffed it between the bed and the wall, and then woke up the next morning, pulled it out and put it on. I'm not exaggerating, I swear to God. Disheveled, hair all over his head, beard looking scruffy like he ain't shaved in days. And then sores on his face. His look alone would be enough to show that, you know, I did not get fair representation. Well, anybody that witnessed that had a brain. But, you know, when the majority of the courthouse looks like they didn't even brush their teeth before they come into work, is anybody going to say anything? No, it makes them feel better about their lives if he's on drugs and looking disheveled. Then they don't look so bad. What is this world coming to, y'all? What is this world coming to? I just feel like if I went to law school for 7 years, that would have been my 7 years to look like shit. When I got out of law school, I would have acted like I cared about myself. That's all I'm saying. You know, it's concerning. I've had the same attorney on and off for almost 20 years, and Bruce would never show up looking like that. Ever. And I wish I could afford him right now, because he would get this shit thrown out so motherfucking quick. I know that Bruce would get this dismissed. He would get it dropped completely. I know it without a doubt. I know it without a doubt, because he's done it before. That's why he was my attorney for as long as he was. He's good. Best in the game. Best in the game. Criminal defense attorney out of Greensboro, North Carolina. Best in the game. It gets no better. Just sucks I can't afford him. But, you know, at least I'm recording all of this so you can see how quickly shit can go south when you don't have money to defend yourself. You don't get representation. You get some fucking dude in a 2-day-old suit and a possible drug problem. I mean, his socks, his pants were trapped in his sock. One of them, just one leg. Like when he went to get dressed, he didn't realize that he had actually trapped the back part of his pantsuit in his sock. So he's walking around the courtroom with a cowlick, sores all over his face, and his pants tucked into his socks, like disheveled. When I say disheveled, I mean, did you get dressed in the dark? It's just concerning. It's concerning. I feel sorry for the upcoming generation. I do. Like, yeah. And I'm sure he is overworked and underpaid. He's probably got 50 damn cases on his desk right now. Probably more than that. It looks like it's going to pour, you guys. Y'all see this damn sky? It looks crazy. The leaves are so pretty, though. Oh, sorry. Hold on, I'm gonna show you the leaves. Beautiful land. Look at the sky. It looks wicked, doesn't it? Trying to, sorry, I got the burps from the Chinese. Trying to show you the leaves, but I've always loved this log cabin. You can't really see them. I guess they're all down. All the leaves have fallen. There ain't none. I'm like trying to show you leaves. They're all on the ground. God, I cannot believe I got sick. 'Tis the season to be sick. Wake up with a scratchy voice. I knew it was coming because I've had a dry cough for like 2 weeks. So I knew I was about to get a sinus infection. I'm actually surprised it didn't come on before now. The new deodorant's working better, thank God. I haven't had any sweaty armpit problems today. TMI. So if I do, we'll talk tomorrow. I'll actually where I'll be. I'll have a ton of news stories that I just haven't been able to talk. So y'all act like I'm asking if it's